I can remember early on, we both had good parents, but they're human, just like we're human. And I can remember early on, I can even remember the conversation where we actually said, well, maybe we won't do what my dad did, or, just those little, maybe we'll try to take a different path with our kids based on some different outcomes and stuff.
And it was really different because I grew up in church, but my parents weren't really the strong spiritual leaders. They took us to church and we had that, but we never really sat down and read the Bible and prayed together. And for Kinsey, her family wasn't in church at all. And so some of it was we saw things that we wanted to change and improve on, and we wanted to be involved in our kids' lives kind of in a way that our parents weren't. And so I don't know that we ever really had that sit-down discussion, but we both knew that we wanted it to be more than what we got as kids.
Be there for each other and realize that maybe it won't go exactly like you think it will, and be willing to readdress the situation and see, hey, is this really working? Is it working the way that it ought to be? And then be willing to change.
It became, how are we going to do this? How are we going to keep our kids in church? How are we going to be the spiritual leaders that they need? How are we going to? And a lot of it was trial and error, and just we don't know what's going to work, and we don't know what's not going to work, so we're going to start trying it and see what happens.
Now we try to do every Friday night as our family fun night, and usually Mondays and Tuesdays when Robert comes home a little earlier during the week, we usually sit around, and that's when we have the best conversations around the table, I would say, because nobody's not as tired. We're eating dinner a little earlier those days, and they really surprise us with our answers, just the things that they've picked up and they've learned, and they're like little sponges.
And there were specific things that we probably intentionally made sure that we tried a little different, just because. Again, not that it was right, wrong, or indifferent. Like you said, it's a lot of prayer, and we're human. But there was probably a few things that we intentionally went after to say, you know what, we're going to try to follow this path maybe a little different, just to see how it plays out with our kids.